Hi, I'm Amy Showalter, live and uncut with the 3 things you should never say to your PAC prospects. 3 things you should never say to a PAC prospect. And there's more than 3, but in the interest of time, we're going to focus on the 3 most common offenders in this category. Things that actually depress the possibility that they'll give to your political action committee. Number 1, we hear this one a lot. Campaigns are expensive, so you need to give. Campaigns are expensive, so you need to contribute. In 12 years of my practice, 12 years of focus groups, online surveys, executive interviews, interviews with PAC givers and non-givers, I have never, ever, ever heard that as a rationale for why someone is motivated to contribute to a PAC. It's something I think that's a little bit of an insider perspective, that as professional lobbyists and political action committee pros, they know campaigns are expensive because they're always being asked by the candidates for money, so you feel that yourself, but it's not a motivator for your team. And this was brought to my attention a while back when I had an audience of association executives, state association executives, and one of them said, well, I think campaigns are expensive, and that's something that we're really trying to remind our people of as a rationale to give to the PAC. And I asked her if she had evidence for that, or if she'd done survey work to find out if that was really true. And she said no. We talked a little more, and she said, well, my husband ran for city council, and he lost, and it cost $80,000. And so campaigns are really expensive. That was the answer. She had her own personal bias in her rationale for why people would or wouldn't give to a PAC because of that campaigns being expensive argument, because it was her personal money that was being used for that losing campaign. So in her mind, campaigns are really expensive. I don't like it that campaigns are expensive. I don't get to take my vacation, buy my new car because we spent $80,000 on this particular campaign. So that's why people need to give, because campaigns are expensive. Well, that's a great classic example of our personal bias creeping into rationale and putting the wrong messages out there to our PAC prospects. Number 2, something never to say. The CEO wants you to join the PAC, so therefore you should join the PAC. Now, not only does that border on being coercive, and the FEC gets a little nervous about that kind of language, but I know, again, from years of experience in talking to PAC prospects and even senior management, people in the C-suite, about why they give and don't give to a PAC, that the CEO's encouragement or lack of encouragement is an indicator. It might be a barometer of what's expected, but it certainly is not a motivator, and can actually be a demotivator if people do not respect your CEO, if people if your organization is in a time of turmoil, low morale, reorganization, restructuring, it can actually be a demotivator. So watch that as a silver bullet, because it's a bronze boomerang. It's not a silver bullet. And next, I've actually seen this in PAC collateral materials and on PAC websites. Comments to the effect of, everybody hates politics, and we understand that, but you still should support our political action committee. Well, that is inspiring. Where do I sign up? Sign me up. I'm really inspired by that. Everybody, all politicians are dirty, and politics is dirty, so sign me up, right? That's a classic misuse of what we call normative information, meaning that while that may be a norm, it's a norm that takes people to the dark side and gives them an excuse for not participating, versus letting them know of what's possible, and that all these other colleagues of theirs, association members of theirs, actually do give to the PAC. They have a very positive feeling about politics and so forth. So acknowledging, and I think what people are trying to do with that kind of language is acknowledge the objection, but it's a real classic case of what not to do. Actually, social science literature has found that to depress involvement, to depress engagement in a cause by using that kind of language. So stay away from it. Run as fast as you can. Run as fast as you can on that. So my bottom line on this is that the big thing is we have to avoid some of the common sound bites that we see and hear and that we get at different conferences and so forth. We have to really look at what matters for my organization. You know how I feel about research. Do your research. Use the proper methodology. Find out what makes people give and not give, and go from there. And remember that it will be different based on the work group that you're surveying. It'll be different based on the age of the person. It'll be different based on their value system. And it'll be different based on the industry that you're in. I see different answers when I do this research for clients. I see different answers across the board, depending on the industry, depending on the economic, the legislative climate, and so forth. So do your homework, and you'll be a lot safer. But don't say any of these 3 things to your PAC prospects. Thanks. This is Amy, live and uncut.